So, disclaimer muna bago mag-start. Hindi sumabay sa bandwagon yung passion ko. So, okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. Okay. So, last time, who remembers SNAP? Yes, SNAP. Structurally nano-engineered antimicrobial polypeptide polymers. Yes. That was my topic last time. But basically, I chose a topic because I want to raise awareness more on the current problem on antimicrobial resistance. So I wish I could show you the last slide. It was showing the road to battling this current problem, and one solution for that is SNAPs. SNAPs falls to one of the categories to counter this problem, that is creating new drugs. Because we cannot totally remove antibiotics, let's face that. So we have more weapons to to address this concern. We develop new drugs. And another option for that is preventing infection. Of course, if there's no infection in the first place, there's no need to use drugs. Drugs that can cause resistance, which plagues the medical profession as of the moment. Another option for that, another option to battle resistance is to tracking the current development. Of course, we should know the enemy, so we know we can create our counter plans for that. And finally, responsible prescribing. If we use the right drug for the right bacteria, then and we ensure this bacteria dies, there's no need to worry about resistance. Okay, so to support that action to responsible prescribing, we should have the right and accurate diagnosis. Speaking of diagnosis, technology has given us more and more choices, and right now we prefer molecular diagnostics because it's faster and more reliable as of now. So we often hear ELISA as test for our farms for us to screen diseases. I hope we all know the concept of ELISA because for now, I'm introducing to you another test which is closer to my heart because this was my thesis back when I was a student. So I introduce you to PCR. PCR, all polymerase chain reaction. So to give you a brief, what does polymerase chain reaction do? Okay. Yes, Doc. Polymerase chain reaction, we call that molecular photocopying because one DNA can be multiplied to 1 trillion in just 40 cycles. 40 cycles you can finish in 4 hours. So how does that happen? Okay. PCR relies on various degrees of temperature that cascade an event on temperature-dependent enzyme actions. Okay? The first step for that is initialization. To hot start the process, our thermocycler raises the temperature, and then next, first on the actual cycle is denaturation or the DNA melting. So we raise the temperature to 98 degrees Celsius for that double-strand DNAs to separate. So once the double-strand DNA separates, we proceed to the next step, annealing. We drop down the temperature for primers to bind to the DNA template. Primers are specific to a segment of the DNA. And then next is elongation, wherein the polymerase extends the sequence for it to create an exact copy of the DNA template. So that goes on and on, leading to exponential increase of just one DNA template, ending to what I've said, 1 trillion. So with this current technology, fast technology, we can have a basis on our treatments for us to counter antimicrobial resistance. So again, I leave you with the question that I've left you before again. once again, what can you do to help in this global problem? Thank you.